Hey guys, sorry for the long absence. Now, some of you might be looking at the title and wondering, what the hell happened to Snatcher? Well, here's the deal. There are just a bunch of other games I'd rather review at this time, but don't worry, I will do the other 2 acts of Snatcher at a later date. But for now, we focus on Warioware D.I.Y.
There have been 6 games in the Warioware series, 7 if you count the GameCube remake of the first game, which allowed multiplayer support. Each new rendition involved completing minigames utilizing the system's technical features, such as the Wii's motion controls or the DSi's camera.
But the most recent game in the Warioware series has, in my opinion, the coolest out of all the features in the past games. The ability to make your own minigames. I thought for this review, I'd take you through step by step the basic process of making a minigame, since the ones that are provided to you aren't too different from the ones in Warioware Touched. So, without further ado, let's do this. And yes, I have the oldest DS, sue me. For the sake of this review, I think I'll just make a simple minigame. How about pop the bubbles? Now that may sound really simple, but trust me, if you put some work into it, you can make much more difficult and fun games. Look.
I made a Pokemon minigame, a spelling minigame, and even a minigame based around Death Note.
When you first start the game, you won't have all these options available yet. But don't worry, it only took me about 5 minutes to unlock everything. So to make our bubble popping minigame, we have to make a few easy decisions, such as the name of the game, and how long or short the game is going to be. Then, the fun begins. Now the first thing we have to do is create a background for our minigame. Now if we wanted to, we could import a background from any of the past games we've created, such as this one from a basketball minigame that I made. But since it doesn't really play in well with the whole bubble popping thing, I'm just gonna erase it. So I just sort of wanted to show this off. Awesome. Now, I'm gonna make our background a big ocean, because, hey, why not? Now, we could add a lot more things, like little fish or whatever, but sometimes the simpler a game is, the better. Now we gotta make our bubbles. I'll use the circle tool to make our bubble round. Then I'll use the fill tool to make it blue. Alright, now we gotta make 2 more frames of it popping. We create 2 more frames for the bubble to be there. Then we copy paste it over. Oops, there we go. Oh, that's wrong. And then we do it again. And now for this frame, I'm just going to erase it a bit with this little spray tool. That looks good. But for this one, I'm going to erase the bubble altogether. Now this might look a little weird now, but when the animation all comes together, trust me, it's going to look awesome. What's cool is we can copy over our bubble twice, so that our game becomes more interesting. Shake it up a little, you know, 3 bubbles. 3 times the fun. I don't know what I'm saying. The next thing we gotta do is add music. Now, the greatest thing is, if you're not so good at writing melodies, and I know I'm sure not, we can click this little guy down here, give him a request, a few things about what we want the song. I'll make it relaxed and fun. Let's see what he makes for us. Now that sounds great, and the great thing is, we can always make adjustments to it if we want, but I think it's fine, so yeah, we'll just leave it as it is. And if we always want to make a new song, we can just ask him again, but I think this one's fine. Now that the incredibly easy music making process is over, we're ready to make the AI. Now at this point, some of you might be saying, but Dan, I don't know anything about coding video games. Or you might be saying, you Dan, I know binary better than English. Well, for the people saying that second statement, you will never amount to anything, and your mother is a fat whore. Moving on from me getting pissed off, the AI is actually incredibly easy to program. You have to get a little more creative if you want to make a complicated game though. But for this game, we just have to say where we want our bubbles to start out. Let's say it'll stay like that. That sounds good. Then we have to say that when the game starts, we want each of our bubbles go in a random direction. And the speed looks good.
And I'll just repeat this for the other 2 bubbles.
Now we just have to do a few more things. We have to say that when our bubble is tapped, the bubble will disappear, just like that. And also, to make it a little more authentic, we should make it have a sound effect play. And that sounds good. It sort of sounds like a pop. Come on. And I'm gonna do this off screen, make these 2 do the same thing. Now, one of the last things we have to do is to say that when our bubble is tapped, its switch turns on. Now, this is basically so that the game recognizes, oh, the bubble switch is turned on, now the game can be won. So, we just have to set the win conditions that when all 3 bubble switches are on, the game has been won. So, we're almost done with that. Set it so that all 3 bubble switches are on. And now, let's test our game. There you go. I assure you, they'll travel in a random direction every time. Look. Yeah, just like that. So now that our game is finished and looks awesome, we can go back here, click finish. Oh wait, I forgot to add this. Let's say pop. Where's the P? There it is. Oh. There. Now it's finished. We can click ship it. We get this awesome little music. We get to decide what our cartridge looks like. Why not? Oh, that's good. How about that? Why not? Allow. And add a little description. We'll call this one blah. And yeah. We drag our game wherever we want. And it saves. Our game is finished. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little review/tutorial of Warioware D.I.Y. And I hope you enjoy the game as much as I have. This has been another episode of A Nerd's Opinion. I'm Dan DiOrio, and this is how I end my videos now.